I am so happy to be joined by my good friend and frequent interview subject, Seth Killian. Now at Sony Santa Monica, obviously, for PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. Of course, the game is out, but we're not talking about some upcoming DLC. It's two new characters, Emmett from Starhawk and Kat from Gravity Rush. It's kind of cool to see Kat. I mean, this is a very, very recent game that has already found its way into the pantheon of All-Stars.
Yes, so Kat, of course, part of the Vita family, but also she was just a huge hit right away. And Starhawk, again, when we were making this game, we knew what our initial lineup wanted to be, and then trying to figure out who was going to be great. And so Gravity Rush and Starhawk had just both come out and had a lot of buzz around them. We were all very excited about that. And more than just as characters, I mean, they're great as characters, but also they really added some unique gameplay elements, and that's really what we're all about.
Yes, I mean, if there's one thing that really stands out is that somehow you have a truly diverse roster of characters that play in ways that are very respectful of how they play in their home games, and somehow it all balances out. We can talk about, I don't understand how you pulled that off. Kat, how does she play? I mean, she's about not really respecting gravity.
That's what we were so excited about, because we didn't have a character that had her kind of freedom of movement, so we've really gone a little nuts with Kat in the best possible way. So of course she can fly around the screen. She doesn't really have a double jump. She's got like this ability to dash like pretty much anywhere. A lot of sliding. She can stand on walls, of course, like Gravity Rush, but all sorts of moves. So she can summon chairs and junk like in a little field around her, as she can in Gravity Rush, and basically everything you see her do will be from there. But overall, trying to capture that sense of freedom and primarily kick-based offense, because she's all about the kicks in Gravity Rush.
Now, but what's the balance? Everything you just described sounds like she should just dominate that playing field. I mean, so how do you keep her in check?
Well, you know, I mean, she doesn't generate the most AP off of everything, so that's a balancing a little bit. But I mean, she can have extended combos, but it'll keep her in place a long time on the ground, which leaves her open to other characters if that's what she goes for. So she's happiest in the sky, but she has to find her way to the ground, and that makes her commit to certain moves, which will leave her vulnerable.
Okay, so now let's move over to Starhawk, which there's lots of guns. I mean, it kind of raises the same question. I mean, how does he play out, and then how do you kind of counterbalance that?
Right, so Starhawk is a traditional shooter in many ways, which really punctuated by the key feature of the build and battle system, where he can basically, as you remember, drop down all sorts of things from the sky, whether it be walls, whether it be weapons, whether it be turrets. So we thought that would be fantastic for a character. So the team's actually gone a little nuts. So he can drop a turret that will shoot all over the screen. He can drop weapon pods that will give him new weapons that change all of his attacks depending on what weapon he has. Even the supers that he has will change based on the weapon that he's carrying at the time. And then you have to go back to your ammo depot to pick up new ammo. But if you've got the turret covering your butt, basically, while you're trying to switch guns or something like that, it's really effective. And yeah, so he's a really unique character. We haven't had anything like that. And he's all about stance changes, weapon changes, this kind of thing, and making the most of his turret to help him sort of cover the screen with bullets.
So, okay, so you have a woman who dashes without any respect to gravity, that keeps trash swirling around her, and you have a guy that can just kind of bring things in from the sky, put them on the ground, and has turrets and a gun.
Yes.
I mean, I kind of mean this seriously. I mean, are there characters out there that you kind of go like, okay, that might not be feasible? I mean, but it's rather impressive how you've incorporated all this into the game.
Yeah, one thing I've learned about fighting games is that you definitely, at the start, you swing for the fences, and then you reel it back in, but you got to have that sense of fun. You got to have that sense of power. You got to have that sense of awesome, like, that is something I want to do. And both of these characters immediately had concepts behind them that we were both excited about. I mean, dashing all over the screen feels fantastic, dropping stuff from the sky, and having access to all these weapons is fantastic. And then, you know, we'll tone it down where we need to tone it down, but those are both concepts we were really excited to have in the game, and they're just fantastic characters.
All right, great. Well, obviously, PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale is already out. This DLC, I know it's pretty early on. Do you have any sense when we might be playing it?
We're saying early 2013, but the happy news there is that it's totally free. So
even better.
It's free for 2 weeks. You can pick it up, even if you don't have the game, but you're thinking, well, maybe. You can download the DLC, and then if you get the game, it'll be there waiting for you. But you have a 2-week window to get it, and so we hope everybody jumps on board.
All right, thanks so much for your time.
My pleasure.
I'll talk to you soon.